hello. Hopefully a shorter video today. We're going to look at the Sprue pictures that Games Workshop have released over the last couple of days for the two new teams coming in Kill Team Soulshackle. So we're going to start with the Adeptus Arbites, and if you're listening to this as a podcast, you probably want to look at the screen because I'm going to go through the Sprues with a laser pointer. So we start over here on the left-hand side of the Sprue, and we can straight away see the pieces with the heavy stubber there. We've got two separate heads for the Proctor. So we've seen those. We've got the one with the crest and then the crest facing the other way. I much prefer this one with the double eagle facing the front. I'm much less fond of the one with it facing front to back. Not sure why, but I think because this reminds me of the old Jez Goodwin metals, right? Much more fond of this sculpt. And then going down, I'm skipping over legs and torsos and things. I'm seeing if anything else jumps out to me. We can see really clearly we've got two different kind of weapons. We've got the bigger mauls here, and then you've got the little kind of truncheony things here. Obviously they're going to have different sets of stats. We can see a bit of the Weber down here. Other than that, I can't see much more notable stuff on that Sprue. You know, we've got some of the weapon arms for some of the specialists here. I'm just looking for any surprises, things we don't know about. Coming over to the second Sprue now, along the top here we see the grenade launcher. So there's the grenade launcher there, with its sight and its drum barrel. Some people were saying that the grenade launcher looked to have been made by plugging pieces into the shotgun. May have been done that way on the CAD, but certainly on the Sprue it's one piece. Coming along now, you get some separate shotguns, which is pretty cool, useful for conversion and stuff potentially, although maybe they're supposed to go on the backs of characters. We've got the base if you're making the drone to be a separate piece. Some more big clubs. There's the Leashmaster's leash, pistols, torsos and legs. A nice big row of heads down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 7 heads just down there, which is great to see. You can see half the dog here. We've got the sniper rifle. There's your gimp mask head for your guy with the cuffs. Up here, can't see anything else particularly up here. And then over here, last Sprue, you got all the shoulder pads. So the big ornate shoulder pad, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The really brutal looking kind of extra club for the fellow with the cuffs. You get the other half of the dog. You get the parts for the drone on here. There are the 2 wings. You do, as advertised, get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 shields to make an entire squad with shields. You get some holsters. I guess you can attach holsters to taste. There's another 1, 2, 3, 4 heads there easily. So you're going to have loads of different heads if you end up with multiple Sprues of these guys. Yeah, so no surprises really on the Arbite Sprue. I think we've seen everything. If you watched yesterday's video, there's no plasma gun lurking there or anything like that. It's everything that we've seen. One thing I do like is when we give us so down here there's an empty holster. I think empty holsters are always a nice touch. They add a little bit of authenticity to the miniature. You know, when I always used to hate that back in the 90s and early 2000s. You have a model with a pistol in his hand and then he'd have a holstered pistol on his waist as well, and it would be like, what? So nice to see an empty holster. But yeah, those are the Arbite Sprues, 3 Sprues. They are all 3 the same size. I just made one smaller to fit on the slide, but as far as I can see, they're 3 Sprues all of the same size. And we were kind of expecting to see maybe 2 Sprues and an upgrade Sprue, but as far as I can tell, this isn't that. This is it's a 3 Sprue crit. So that's pretty cool. And then we come on and look at the Dark Eldar Sprue. So just one Sprue to scrutinise here. So we've got the new blade option for the leader. That's up there. So that's the poison sword, right? I forget the proper name for it, but it's the poison sword. We've got 1, 2, so the 2 melee weapons there. We've got a couple of heads, couple of bear heads. I think that's a special hat for the Skyhunter Assassin with some feathers on the back. Hadn't noticed that he had a helmet with feathers on the back. We've got the special helmet that your leader can have now, which is pretty cool. This would be the head for the pseudo witch, and there's the witch weapon down there. We've got the head for the grenade thrower as well, and here's her arm with her grenades. There's the extra torso, which I believe is an extra torso for the leader, although you wouldn't necessarily have to use it on your leader, I guess. We've got the pistol for the medic type guy who gives feel no pain to everybody. Again, I'm not seeing any surprises on here. There's the pistol for the acolyte. That's going to be a really interesting piece. That is that seems to be the front of a face with some hair on the back. That's going to be an interesting one to attach to the miniature. But I'm scrutinising the sprue. I really don't see much in the way of surprises on this sprue either. So yeah, really quick kind of 10-minute video just going through the sprues there. And that's really it. So my final thoughts. Hopefully you found that interesting, looking through the sprues, pointing out a few things. Hopefully I showed you a few things that you hadn't noticed before. I think that they are, you know, as upgrade sprues go, I think this is a pretty good upgrade sprue that the Dark Eldar have got. You know, we're getting into the swing of things. It's interesting with the Arbites. They're like the Commandos, right? Because previously, even for the artisanal teams, that is, the teams that are designed exclusively for Kill Team, they've still, if you think about the Vet Guard or the Novitiates, for example, they were very much 2 full-size sprues plus a third upgrade sprue-sized sprue, as if they were a pre-existing kit that had been given a Kill Team upgrade sprue. I think I'm right in saying, correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, the Arbites are only the second kit, with the Commandos being the first, where it was three sprue. Now, I feel like I don't know that actually, because I kind of picture the sprues for like the breaches and the Kazakin in my head, and I'm struggling. It could be that I don't know what I'm talking about, and all through this edition they've been like the Commandos were 3 full-size sprues. But I feel like, certainly it was a thing in the first version of the game, the Vet Guard were 2 sprues and an upgrade sprue-sized sprue. The Novitiates were 2 full-size sprues and a smaller upgrade sprue-sized sprue. I'm fairly sure the Corsairs were 2 sprues and a smaller upgrade sprue-sized sprue. And the Bloodied were like, well, they had the extra sprue with the Ogryn and the upcycled Ogryn and the Commissar and the upgrade sprue, and then 2 sprues, I think. Someone in the comments will just know, possibly Zimbad, who knows, just let me know. But I still think it's interesting. Right, so a little bit of a channel update that I've kind of sellotaped onto the back of the video. So I'm off to Warhammer World on Friday evening. I'm off to go and do my packing for that now, for the tournament. Do say hi if you see me. I'm a little bit irritated about that tournament. So for those of you that don't know, they'd said that they were definitely going to be using the new TAC Ops deck, and I've got loads of practice games in with the new TAC Ops deck. And now that the last minute, like yesterday, they were like, "Oh no, we're using the old TAC Ops deck." What I hear on the grapevine is that they wanted to use the new deck. They knew that not everybody that wanted a copy of it had been able to buy a copy of it, and they were hoping to make it available for free via PDF or similar, and they've essentially been told by management higher up than the events team, like, no, we're not giving away that product for free, people have to pay money for it. So as a result, the tournament's going to have to use the old Tactical Objectives deck. So my task while this video is uploaded to YouTube is to go all through my stuff and try and find where I've secreted my old Tactical Objectives deck. I'm kind of irritated, like I said, because I've played a lot of practice games, not because I think I'm some kind of elite tournament player who's going to finish in the top 10, but just because I like to try not to make an absolute fool of myself and know what's going on. And now, of course, I'm using all these TAC Ops that I've basically forgotten, and will therefore make an absolute fool out of myself, which is... It's not ideal, Games Workshop. It's not ideal. I'd consider refunding my ticket, but I've booked a travel lodge and I can't get that refunded because I booked it on a saver rate and everything else. So off to Warhammer World to play a tournament with the old TAC Ops deck. When I get back, I will put some kind of video up. Probably it's going to be a tournament report. It may instead be like my reactions to, because by Saturday evening we'll have had the rules in out there for the Adeptus Arbites kill team and the Hand of the Archon kill team. Sorry, Adeptus Arbites Games Workshop. Okay, yeah, fine. If you're going to do a whole thing about it, a whole almost literal song and dance about it, Adeptus Arbites, if that is what we have to do. The Adeptus Arbites rules, as well as the Hand of the Archon rules, will be out in the public domain by Saturday evening via the mechanism of Man Reads Book. Now, this final thoughts thing is going to be most of the video, right? You thought you were getting a Sprue video. I'm just talking bollocks now, but here we go. If you happen to look on Guerrilla Miniature Games, which is Ash Barker's channel, where he does a Man Reads Book of every book Games Workshop ever produced, and if you look for his coverage of the last set of books of 40k, so that's the World Eaters Codex and the book 2 of Arcs of Omen, he didn't get physical books. He got digital PDFs, which he was not allowed, prohibited, from showing on screen. Not really an explanation why. So we got Man Reads Book, but it was like Man Reads Book off laptop screen, and it wasn't Man Shows You Book. Is Games Workshop trying to kill Man Reads Book? Now I hear that there's certain people that have expected to get the advanced copies of Soulshackle, perhaps don't have. It's difficult because, of course, nobody can speak about what they have or haven't got freely. But perhaps some people that usually get advanced copies of Soulshackle don't have advanced copies of Soulshackle, and maybe we'll see, as happened to Ash with the last book releases, maybe we'll see that kind of thing where they have the thing but can't show the thing. I don't know whether Games Workshop is doing this because they're just being disorganised, or whether it's part of a move of them to actually do away with Man Reads Book in the way that we know it, right? Which would be, I think, it would be gutting. I mean, you know, we have the format, we have their official Hype Week, and then we have the pre-orders, and we have Man Reads Book, and then we have the sort of speculating on the rules, and then the models come out, and we know, crucially for me, we know when the models come out, you can start building, and you don't have to then look in the book and go, oh, right, Arbites, 3 gunners, and they can't take all the specialists, so which specialist and which gunner am I not going to build, and what's happening with that? Like, you can sort all that out in your head and make a plan, and then you can execute your plan on release day, and that's really valuable. And anecdotally, perhaps not with kill team boxes, because they tend to sell out on pre-order day, but I do know people that have been like, oh yeah, I not necessarily bought things, and then I've seen Man Reads Book, and then I've gone and pre-ordered the thing. So I'm not sure what's going on there. I won't be around on Saturday. I'll be at a tournament, but I'll be very interested. Saturday 10 AM. I will check Glass Half Dead. I would check Can You Roll a Crit, and I would go and check GMG, and I would see what's going on with those channels regarding pre-order day, embargo lifting content. Right now, I love Man Reads Book. I always go and watch. I watch Glasses, and then I go watch Crits, and then I go watch Ash Barker's videos, and I watch them all from start to end. I don't skip forward and scan through them, because I'm interested in what separate different bits they emphasize, and what ideas they have, and what they think is, that seems good, that seems bad, that seems strong, that seems not strong. It's just interesting to me, the different presentational styles, like a media studies thing. I like Man Reads Book, and I'll be sad if it's totally vanquished. But then I'm the guy that could never wait for Christmas morning and always tried to find my presents as a kid by hunting around the house and finding them, and I'd eventually find them, and I'd think that was brilliant, and my parents would think it was appalling, and they'd be like, why must you ruin Christmas? And I'm like, I'm not ruining Christmas. Me trying to find my presents early is part of Christmas. I know that the other people that are like, oh, it's great, Man Reed's book is gone, it was dull, it was boring, and we can just have things when they come out and have patience. Patience is not a virtue that I possess. But yeah, I'm going on holiday for a week, starting on the Sunday after the pre-orders. So I'm going to Nottingham, I'm coming home from Nottingham, and then on Sunday, before lunch, I'm going to ultimately the Lake District from Colchester. So big long drive, and then I'm going to be away until late on Friday. I'm really sorry that holiday, which was been planned for a long time, has come after I've missed a load of channel content days due to being ill. It can't be helped, and I am aware that I've got, a number of people now who are channel members, and they will not be receiving a service for that time, and it is what I can do. It is what it is. I will be back, I'll say that Friday night, with the Saturday then being release day, and so I will probably get some content up on release day. Probably I'll build my Dark Eldar or my Arbites and give you a video review of the build process, because people always seem to enjoy that as well. Alright, well that was, so I'm now padding the video to 16 minutes, so over a third of the video has been on the final thoughts slide. It's becoming a meme. I hope you have a great evening. Cheerio. Bye-bye, folks.